Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started with this. Alright, this is actually the first video I've made using this new program, so it's a little bit of a test run. Alright, well, I wanted to start with I had to give a quick talk about Twitter, because that's how I found out about Flipping My Classroom and a lot of the other stuff I'm using this year. So I just wanted to mention real quick what a great resource Twitter is. For education, I was somebody who said, why would I ever get on Twitter? I was not going to do it. In this summer, I came across the summer learning series, which was all about getting started with Twitter, and since then I just haven't stopped using it. I found so many valuable resources. So if you want more information about that, go ahead and see me, and I can get you set up with that and who to follow and just like all the great stuff there. What I'm on right now is this hashtag for Flip Class. So all of these posts are going to be about flipping the classroom. So any more information you could want on flipping your classroom, you can just search that hashtag on Twitter, and you're going to see all kinds of things, all kinds of articles and different things. So that's just something that I use a lot, and it really is a great resource for educators. Not only that, but also to connect with other teachers all around the world. Anyways, moving on. So that's how I got started with it. For the flipped classroom, I'll just sort of scroll through this real fast. This is just a little bit of an infographic that I can send out the link to, just saying what is a flipped classroom. And basically a flipped classroom is just when students get the instruction online through a video as their homework typically. Sometimes this can actually happen in the classroom. There are some teachers who use the video in class to start the day. But most often it is assigned as homework for the students to watch the instruction at home. And so how this happens is they show you here the traditional classroom where you have a lecture, maybe a mini lesson, and then you do the activity or the project or whatever you're doing that goes along with that. Well, in the flipped classroom, the students go ahead and they watch the video at home at night, and they come into class ready to do an activity, some kind of hands-on project, typically the next day, so that they're ready to go. So there's a couple different ways that this model can work, and you have to really figure out what works best for you, but I found that there are a couple different just really you can read all through this on your own if you want some time. But I found just some really positive outcomes from using the flipped classroom just over the past few months. And one of the things is that I know my kids are getting online at night. So I know they're getting on Facebook. I know they're getting on Twitter maybe, or whatever, games, whatever else they use. So they're on the internet already, so for them to get online and watch a 5 to 10 minute video is something that's easily accessible to nearly all of my students. So that's one thing. Another thing I like is that it gets them on my classroom website every week. Every week they are visiting my classroom website, or they are visiting our Class Ed Noto site, and they're getting on and they're connecting with one another, and they're seeing the content online. So a couple years ago I set up my class website and didn't feel like the kids or parents were getting on it, but now I know they're getting on it because that's where their homework is stored. So this is just sort of a study that had been done on the flipped classroom, but I'm going to go ahead and just scroll down to the very bottom where it talks about discipline cases. And they're saying that in this study, in where they used a flipped classroom, the discipline cases went down in a semester. And basically that's the biggest thing that Flipping My Classroom has done for me as an educator, is that my kids are not, and it's so often a problem I feel, since especially here in Morocco, The kids love to talk, they love to chat, they have all kinds of questions that they want to ask. And so whenever you do some kind of classroom mini lesson, you get all those questions, you get interruptions, you get kids not understanding the English, and just all those distractions that make your 5-minute lesson turn into a 10, 15, 20-minute lesson. My videos are all under 10 minutes for my students, and so basically they watch the video, and then I'll show you what they do afterwards, but it gets rid of all those disruptions that would happen during a normal classroom lesson when maybe they would not be as engaged. During the video, they can watch it as many times as they want, so if they don't understand something, they can go back and rewatch the video. Often I'll provide more than just one video for them to watch if they feel like they want more help with something. And it also, for me, has really allowed for differentiation. So sometimes I'll give some students a video on multiplication if we're doing that, but then I'll give other students a video on problem solving with multiplication or on their multiplication facts, depending on what they need to know. So usually each week, students in my classroom, how I do it is they get the same video at least once a week, but at other times I give them different videos depending on what they're working on. So I'll show you a little bit more about what I use, and I'll have these links available for you in a Google Doc. But one thing I learned about this from Twitter, but I took this course, and it's called the Flipped Classroom Certification course, and basically this is just a program. It's pretty self-explanatory, but they have different videos and different information that's going to be more in-depth for how to flip your classroom and why to do it, and you actually create a flipped classroom lesson and you become flipped classroom certified. So it's not a big process, but it's something I noticed when I was on Twitter. A lot of teachers in their profile will say if they have a special certification, and one easy one to get is be flipped classroom certified. It's something you can put on your resume, and it really isn't that difficult to do. You just do this online certification and have a better understanding of it. So Sophia.org they actually host other PD online, so that's something you could check out if you were interested. You can actually put videos up here. I haven't used it in my classroom like that. I just got the certification. I haven't gone back to Sophia much, but I know other teachers who really like it, and you can put videos up on Sophia. How I usually do my videos is I guess first I'll show you how to make a video. So there are a couple different options for making your videos. You can use Educreations. You can use your document camera at school. So if you want to just create your camera at school, you can use your doc camera, and if you download Windows Movie Maker, you can go do it. It's a free download. If you download Windows, it might already be on your computer. Check that out. If you download Windows Movie Maker, you can just use your document camera and make a video on your whiteboard that way at the beginning of the day, the end of the day, whenever you want to do that. Then you typically have to upload it to YouTube. But what I typically will do if I make my own, I use an Educreations video, which there's a website. These are videos that I've made for my students. I ran into a few problems with that. They couldn't always watch them unless they had the Educreations app, so be careful with that. But it is nice. It's like an interactive whiteboard on your screen. It works real nicely on the iPad. And then I just downloaded Screencastify, which I think will work on any on Google Chrome. So it's real nice for it. It records your computer screen. So any of those, if you have questions about those, let me know. But I always post my videos on a couple different places. They're on YouTube and they are on my class website. So on my class website, my students they go to their homework whenever we have it, and I just post their video. I post a quick description of what they have to do, and then they also this one had 2 videos that they could watch. They have a KWL each night that they have to then complete to show me they've watched it and to ask questions then. So yeah, this is just a quick introduction. I'll